Hey guys, we finally made it. After more than a month without UFC fights, the promotion is back. And it's back in a big way. UFC returns with a brand new deal with Paramount and kicks things off immediately with a numbered event. UFC 324. Right away, it's important to note that after this deal, the promotion increased the bonuses. Now, fighters receive not $50, but $100,000 for both performance of the night and fight of the night. On top of that, every finish now comes with an additional $25,000 bonus. That's some serious motivation. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim title in the main event of the night. In the co-main event, Sean O'Malley takes on Song Yadong in a title eliminator bout. We also had David Allen versus Silva, Rose Namajunas against Natália Silva, and Umar Nurmagomedov facing Deiveson Figueiredo. The fights were exactly what we hoped for. Now let's break down how it all actually played out. My name is Alexander Petrov, and you're watching MMA Insight. This is a review of all UFC 324 fights. Let's go. Adam Fugitt is 37 years old, with a UFC record of 2 wins and 3 losses. His last fight was in July, when he was defeated by Islam Dulatov in the first round. Tonight, he faces the young Tai Miller, who is 12 years younger at 25. Miller has just 6 professional fights, but in August he had a war in the Contender Series, which earned him a UFC contract. Tai Miller comes out swinging with straight punches, doubles or singles. Fugitt clearly struggles with distance, missing these shots throughout the round, while Miller keeps increasing his power with every minute. Near the end of the round, Adam lands a spinning elbow that cuts Miller, and it looked like it might turn the fight around. But no, another straight punch drops Fugitt. He gets up, takes another series of shots, and the referee steps in. With just 1 second left in the round, the fight is stopped. Tai Miller wins by TKO in the first round, becoming the first fighter to earn the $25,000 finish bonus. Josh Hokit is very young for a heavyweight at just 28 years old. The American is on a hot streak. Back in August, he fought on Dana White's Contender Series, scored a knockout in the second minute, and earned his UFC contract. By November, he made his debut and notched another KO, this time in just 1 minute. His opponent, Denzel Freeman, has also fought once in the UFC and won. The $25,000 finish bonus should motivate both fighters to put on an exciting show. Hokit immediately secures a takedown and starts grappling. They spend a couple of minutes on the ground, but Hokit can't fully control Freeman. In the remaining 3 minutes of the round, Hokit rains strikes from top position, staggering Freeman. Then, in the most crucial moment, Hokit struggles to finish, until just seconds before the round ends, he throws a series of punches. Freeman retreats to the cage, and Hokit shows him the middle finger. Freeman slumps to the mat in exhaustion, and the referee stops the fight 1 second before the round ends. A slightly strange stoppage, but 2 fights on this card ended in finishes just a second before the bell. And this marks the first time a fighter has knocked out an opponent simply by showing him the middle finger. Alex Perez missed weight by 1.1 kilograms, which means he'll forfeit 25% of his purse to his opponent. Lately, things haven't been going well for the American. Besides the weight miss, Perez has suffered 2 consecutive stoppage losses, had frequent fight cancellations, and managed just 1 win in his last 6 bouts. In contrast, his opponent Charles Johnson has been on the rise, going 5-1 in his last 6 fights. A completely mirror-opposite record compared to Perez. In the middle of the round, Alex Perez lands a crushing shot, sending Charles Johnson into a heavy knockdown. Johnson gets back up, but in the stand-up, he takes a storm of punches. Perez relentlessly pursues him until he scores a second knockdown, at which point the referee steps in, and correctly so. Johnson seemed confused, even walking into his opponent's legs after the stoppage. Alex Perez wins by first-round knockout. So far, it's been an amazing card, and the fighters are clearly motivated by the additional bonuses. As of March 2023, Nikita Krylov was riding a 3-fight winning streak. However, a serious shoulder injury and the long layoff that followed clearly took their toll. Last year, Krylov suffered 2 losses, Today's opponent is no less dangerous than the previous two. Modestas Bukauskas is currently on a 4-fight winning streak, with 3 of those victories coming by stoppage. In his most recent bout, Bukauskas knocked out Paul Craig. The first round was more or less even in the striking, but the clinch clearly favored Krylov. For more than half of the round, he kept the Lithuanian pressed against the fence, which likely swayed the judges in his favor. The second round was more interesting. The fighters engaged in short exchanges, with Nikita being slightly more accurate. However, many of the strikes either missed the target or were absorbed by the guard. In the third round, Krylov's advantage became clear. Throughout the 5 minutes, he outworked Modestas, landing clean single shots as well as kicks to the head. But he saved the best for last. With just 7 seconds left in the fight, Krylov landed a jab followed immediately by an overhand. The Lithuanian went down. Nikita instantly followed up with ground strikes, forcing the stoppage with less than 4 seconds left on the clock. Nikita Krylov wins by knockout just seconds before the final horn. Ateba Goutier, nicknamed the Silent Killer, possesses frightening power and incredible physical attributes. The Cameroonian is only 23 years old and made his UFC debut just last year, where he racked up 3 first-round knockout victories. He is a younger version of Francis Ngannou. Standing opposite him is Russian fighter Andrei Pulyayev, a native of Chita, 28 years old, and this will be his 3rd fight in the promotion. After an unsuccessful debut, Andrei managed to bounce back with a stoppage win over Nick Klein, showcasing his striking skills. Those skills will definitely be needed tonight. The very first right hand from Gauthier dropped Andrei into a knockdown, but he got back to his feet quickly. Throughout the round, Pulyayev moved well and didn't allow himself to be trapped, but that early knockdown clearly secured the first round for Gauthier. In the second 5-minute round, Andrei continued to move confidently around the octagon, avoiding damage. However, there was one key moment, essentially one lost minute, when Ateba dropped the Russian twice, which of course sealed the round in his favor. In the third round, Gauthier was no longer able to get to Andrei. Pulyayev kept moving beautifully, landed solid mid-kicks, worked the body, and even found Andrei's head more often with his hands. The third round clearly belonged to Andrei Pulyayev. However, the first 2 rounds were lost. The judges scored it 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28. Ateba Goutier wins by unanimous decision. Umar Nurmagomedov returned to bounce back from the first loss of his career. In October, the Dagestani fighter faced Mario Bautista and, despite a competitive fight, secured a confident victory by decision. Now the Russian is set to face Deiveson Figueiredo, who missed weight and will forfeit 25% of his purse to Umar. Earlier in May, Figueiredo suffered a knee injury in Brazil during his fight with Corey Sandhagen, but returned to the octagon in October and earned a decision win over the young Montel Jackson. Round 1. Umar carefully outstrikes the former champion. After the midpoint of the round, Umar attempts his first takedown, unsuccessful, but the second one works. He secures top position, and in the final seconds delivers a strong finish, landing ground and pound from above and taking the round 1-0. Round 2. Umar continues to work with kicks and looks more active. The round has no dangerous moments until the final minute, when the Brazilian pushes forward aggressively. Umar makes him miss, counters beautifully, controls the range, and lands clean shots to the opponent's head. 2-0 Nurmagomedov. Round 3. A couple of minutes in, Umar secures a takedown, settles into the closed guard, and the Brazilian is unable to escape. Umar spends about 3 minutes actively landing strikes, occasionally improving position, doing everything to leave no questions. Umar Nurmagomedov wins by unanimous decision. Arnold Allen has been sidelined for a year and a half due to injury, and today he finally makes his return. In the UFC, the Englishman holds an 11-2 record, with losses only to elite. Allen won his last fight against Giga Chikadze, but a long layoff followed. During that time, Gene Silva secured 2 stoppage victories and climbed into the top 10. In September, he faced Diego Lopez in a title eliminator bout, but was unable to get past him, as Diego caught Silva with a spinning elbow. Round 1. Allen works very well off the back foot, countering effectively. The fighters mostly throw single shots. Silva targets the body more often, while Allen looks for the head. Silva then increases the pressure, but the Englishman moves well and lands clean counters. The closing moments go to Silva, as he lands a solid combination. A very close round. Round 2. The fighters engage in an exciting back and forth, meeting each other head-on. They trade spinning elbows, throw spinning attacks, and take very little time to rest. Hard exchanges at range, and Silva looks slightly better, outworking Allen in the second round. Round 3. Silva turns it up even more, overwhelming the Englishman with strikes from different angles and even mixing in some grappling attempts. Arnold spending more time on defense. In the final moments, there's a funny incident where the Brazilian somehow jumps onto his opponent's back with his legs. An entertaining fight overall. Jean Silva wins by unanimous decision. Natália Silva is ranked second in the flyweight division and is just one step away from a fight with champion Valentina Shevchenko. The Brazilian is currently undefeated, riding a 13-fight winning streak since 2018, with 7 of those victories coming in the UFC. Veteran Rose Namajunas is ranked slightly lower at number 6. She won her last fight by unanimous decision, and tonight she could secure a title contender spot if she defeats Silva. The fight went to a decision and was a close one. Both fighters had advantages in the striking and at times in the grappling, but Natália Silva had the edge in at least 2 rounds, especially in the third. She confidently outclassed Rose Namajunas with her distance management and also proved to be superior in the grappling. The final score was 29-28, with all 3 judges awarding the victory to Natália Silva. Now she is set to face Valentina Shevchenko. Waldo Cortes-Acosta is in excellent form in 2025. The Dominican fighter has had 5 fights, with his last 2 coming just 3 weeks apart. In the first round, his punches stopped Deiveson and then Shamil Gaziev. Over the past year, Acosta has lost only once to Sergey Pavlovich. Derrick Lewis competes less frequently, having 1 fight in 2024 and 1 in 2025. However, in July of last year, Lewis knocked out the young and promising Talison Teixeira just 35 seconds into the fight. An extremely boring first round, just a few clean jabs from Acosta, and that was about it. Aside from that, Lewis made several lunging attacks but missed everything, hitting only air. The significant strikes were 8-2, just to show how poor the action was. Round 1 goes to Acosta 1-0. In the second round, Cortes-Acosta caught Lewis with a jab early on. Nothing too serious for Derrick. But a bit later, the same situation happened again. Acosta met Lewis with a punch, Lewis carefully went down into a knockdown, and Cortes-Acosta followed up on top with a wide hammer fist to finish him. After a few more follow-up strikes, the referee stepped in to stop the fight. Waldo Cortes-Acosta wins by knockout in the second round. Sean O'Malley repeatedly said before this fight that he thirsts for victory and wants to win by knockout. First, he lost the belt in a fight with Dvalishvili, and then he lost to him again. O'Malley's fight with Yadong could have taken place back in December, but the league decided otherwise. In the last 2 fights of the Yadong, he first lost Petr Yan, and then defeated Henry Cejudo. Now, after the championship changes, both fighters have a breath of fresh air, and most importantly, new opportunities to break into a title fight. The winner of this matchup has every chance to get a title shot next against Petr Yan. In the first round, Sean used distance to pepper Yadong with kicks and single strikes. Nothing too dangerous, but good work for scoring points. Yadong tried to close the distance quickly and land shots, but mostly missed, hitting air. However, in the last minute, he managed to secure a takedown, but there was little time to capitalize on it. Sean 1-0. In the second round, Yadong secured a takedown. He had earlier clinched against the cage, and when the fighters returned to standing, Sean didn't have time to respond effectively on the feet, so Yadong managed to even the score, 1-1 in rounds. The third round was decisive and turned out to be the least competitive. From distance, Sean picked Yadong apart, meeting him well with straights and landing kicks to the body without any serious damage. Sean consistently landed his shots and took the victory by unanimous decision, 29-28 from all three judges. The main event of the evening, Justin Gaethje gets the chance for the second time in his career to fight for the interim lightweight title. Last March, Justin was able to defeat Rafael Fiziev in a rematch. According to the UFC, this victory was enough for the American to contend for the belt. Sharing the spotlight with him is British star Paddy Pimblett, who holds a 7-0 record in the UFC and reached the top 10 by defeating Michael Chandler via technical knockout. But the most important thing is his status as a global star. His popularity works in his favor, giving him a chance the belt. Let's watch. In the first round, Pimblett came out strong, landing well and working excellent uppercuts, but that only fired Justin up. He pressed the Englishman and sent him to the canvas, though he couldn't finish him. Pimblett got up, and the fighters continued trading in the stand-up, where Pimblett occasionally landed more, but in terms of damage, Justin was clearly ahead. Round 1 goes to him 1-0. The second round started fairly even, with both Paddy and Justin landing well, but a minute before the end, Gaethje unleashed a flurry of strikes. The fight went to the ground, where Justin rained elbows and came close to a finish, but time ran out. However, he inflicted significant damage. That's 2-0 for Gaethje. In the third round, surprisingly, Paddy came out much more active, landing more meaningful strikes, while Justin seemed to slow down and allowed Paddy to work. Only in the end did he land a couple of good shots, but the round clearly goes to Paddy 2-1. In the fourth, the championship round, Justin dominated almost all 5 minutes. Paddy barely survived, taking tons of shots, his face covered in blood and bruises. Yet he showed incredible heart and even fought back at times. No questions here, the round goes to Justin 3-1. In the final round, Paddy came out to fight tooth and nail, trying to finish Justin, showing the heart of a champion. There were dangerous flurries, but Justin, never one to back down while winning, pushed forward and traded. An amazing fight, but the victory and the UFC interim lightweight title goes to Justin Gaethje. The judges scored it 48-47, 49-46, 49-46. Most likely, he will face Ilia Topuria this summer for the full UFC title. Drop a like and comment who was the brightest star today and which fight was the best.